And
they rubbing his end. Holy shit. Imagine your foot just went forward. Yeah.
Like with a hammer. So, yeah.
Oh. Hey Kedz! Welcome back to Chelley&Nay, where you know when we're on.
It's poppin'. And if you're new, welcome to our channel.
We love you already.
We're back with another Tea Time Tuesday.
Woo. Today's Tea Time Tuesday is focused on emotional boundaries. Again, this was requested by one of our beautiful Kedz, so thank you. Before we dive deep into this wonderful topic, we wanted to read you guys the definition of emotional boundaries. So here it is. Emotional boundaries involve separating your feelings from another's feelings. Violations include taking responsibility for another's feelings, letting another's feelings dictate your own, sacrificing your own needs to please another, blaming others for your problems, and accepting responsibility for theirs. So I feel like we both are or have been in violation of all those things. But before we get into it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell if you're nasty, and don't forget to
tell your besties, y'all. Keep putting your pals on Chelley&Nay, guys. Let's get us to 1,000 subscribers.
So emotional boundaries, as I said before, I feel like both of us were definitely in violation at some point in our lives. And I feel like to a certain degree we still are, but it's very controlled now. I feel like with each other there may be times, it's on the lower end of the spectrum. If Nay's having a bad day, it might affect me because I just don't want to see my boo thing upset, but it's not going to consume me to the point where we're both in this deep depression and we can't separate it. It's more of a, hey, you're feeling sad and I don't like that, so I'm not feeling my happiest, but I'm gonna try to use my positive energy to bring your spirits up. And I feel like it's vice versa.
Yeah, we definitely, you know, being a couple, we feed off of each other. Absolutely. It's only natural to kind of absorb the person that you're with 24/7's energy. That's just something that's gonna happen whether you really want it to or not. But, you know, I think it's a healthy trait to be able to, you know, relate to the person, support the person, be there for that person, and then be like, but I'm still okay. I don't have to be drained by this type of energy right now. And I mean, hey, sometimes that person allows you to tap into your own feelings, and then you realize, you know what, I do need to get into this deeply right now, and maybe that's gonna be a bonding moment for you and that person. But you know, oftentimes we allow ourselves to get drained by things at a time where we don't need that to be happening. So I think it's important to know when you're carrying someone else's weight and when it's yours as well, or when it's not yours as well, if that makes sense.
I definitely get what you mean. And I know that growing up, majority of my friends, I didn't have many, but the 1-2 that I had, they were always wishy-washy. And by that I mean, what do I mean? Like sometime-ish, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So one day they'll be so happy and energetic and they'll be talking to you, and then the next day, because they're miserable, then they want to put their misery on you. And I definitely had that experience with several of my friends. And you know, at the time it was exhausting, and eventually I learned to just say, you know what, I don't want to feel that way. So if they're gonna have an off day, let them have an off day. As much as I care, you can't let yourself be emotionally drained by somebody else's feelings, because hey, at some point you need to pick yourself up and say, I need to get my stuff together, right? So again, as much as I care about my friends or whoever it is, I can't allow myself to be drained by them, especially when they don't even know what's wrong. They don't even know how somebody else can help them. They need to figure that out for themselves, just like I need to put myself first and remove myself from a miserable situation. Because like I said before, misery does love company in a lot of cases. Not always, but in a lot of cases. So I just learned to say, hey, if they want to talk to me today, I'll let them talk to me. I'm not gonna get all tied up in it, but if they're having a miserable day, they can go ahead and have that miserable day. We'll regroup once they're feeling better. It sounds bad to say it out loud because it sounds like you're not trying to be there for your friends when they're down, but it's when that person is, again, emotionally draining you. You need to create those boundaries, right? Like, what are you supposed to do? Be on a roller coaster for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
When you need to figure your own stuff out, and again, you need to put yourself first.
Exactly. You know, I agree with that entire sentiment. You know, I think there's just a time and place for everything, and I think when you're feeling your strongest, you are allowed to offer up yourself to someone, your time, your space, your energy, and I think that's a great and beautiful thing. But I think it's also fair for you to recognize, hey, like, I'm not feeling my strongest today. For me to be, you know, a sponge for someone else right now, it's going to exhaust me more than actually help them. You know, you don't want to hurt yourself more in the process when you're actually trying to be there for them. And, you know, we have to ask ourselves, like, am I in a space to be carrying this person's load? Am I going to actually be able to help them as much as I want to be there for them? Am I going to be able to help them if I'm already heavy with my own stuff right now? And I think we forget oftentimes that in caring for others, we have to care for ourselves first. And if you can't care for yourself first, there's gonna be no way you're gonna be able to provide anything for anyone as much as you want to. And you can love that person to death, but if you can't be healthy in heart and mind for yourself, then you're not gonna be able to do anything for them anyway. So all of these tea times that we have, they do kind of overlap each other. And I'm thinking about the other tea times that where we've had similar topics of discussion. Just remembering that self-care is extremely important when you're trying to decide if you can be there for someone else. And, you know, we have other tea times that kind of get into that more, so definitely have a look at those too. But just knowing when to say no is an important aspect of this whole thing as well.
We're kind of touching on the topic of letting other people's feelings dictate our own. But what about taking responsibility for another person's feelings? Put simply, you cannot make anybody else feel any type of way or to do anything. Just like we had mentioned in previous tea times, you are in control of your own self. Everybody is in control of their own selves for the most part. So at the end of the day, you can't make somebody feel any type of way. So don't take on that responsibility. Create that emotional boundary. If somebody's upset, you did not make them upset. Maybe there's a time where you said or did something to hurt somebody, that's different. But if it's to a point where somebody's just angry and miserable and they're always, you know, they're constantly putting the blame on you or vice versa, you have to decide that in your head. And again, create that emotional boundary. Figure out the difference between you hurt somebody, let's apologize and move on, and this person is just angry and they have their own issues that they need to deal with, and this person's just sad and has their own things that they need to deal with, or whatever it is, whatever the feeling is. We gotta realize the difference between the two. I need to distance myself, or I need to take my space, and I need to realize that I did not create that feeling in that person, right? Like,
yeah.
I hope that I'm making sense, but basically what I'm trying to say is that nobody's in control of another person. If you allow an outside factor to affect you negatively, that's on you. You are choosing that. And it's everything we say pretty much is easier said than done, but that's all part of life and that's a part of figuring yourself out. You have to ask yourselves these type of questions.
And just kind of piggybacking off of that, I also feel kind of what Chelley was mentioning before about misery loves company. I think that if you are stuck in any type of relationship, friendship, whatever ship that you're in, where that person is kind of manipulating you into believing that everything you say or do is making them feel a certain way, I also just think that's completely unhealthy. So don't be stuck in something because you feel, again, this kind of sounds like something we touched on in another one of our videos, but don't be stuck in something just because you are there, because that person will continue to control you with their feelings.
I was gonna touch on that too, the whole manipulation piece, because that can be a factor in creating these emotional boundaries between, again, whatever type of ship it is. Sometimes people do know what they're doing, sometimes people don't. So they could be manipulating you without realizing it. And again, and I'm sorry to say this, but that's a you problem. right? Like anything that you're dealing with, that's a you problem. As much as we want to blame our problems on the world, which again, that's part of what we're discussing, emotional boundaries. If you're blaming your problems on other people, that's a you problem. You need to figure out deep down what it is, deep down what you can change, deep down what you want. So like again, everything kind of has its connections. You just need to ask yourself these difficult questions and figure it out, explore yourself, and just figure it out. Like I don't know any words to say. Again, like we're not professionals. It's just our experiences, what we've been through, because again, we definitely have been in violation of all these things. And I'm glad that we both have reached that level of maturity that we can discuss.
Yeah.
And, you know, again, not
this is what it is.
Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. Just taking responsibility for other people's actions and blaming your problems on other people. I guess that was the last thing that we were pretty much touching on. And again, we can speak on it because we've both been there and we've both done it, and sometimes we still do it with each other, but I feel like, again, we correct ourselves, we correct each other, and we move on from that. And I'm just glad that we just no longer allow that in our life. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, yeah, like
nobody needs to be drained by anybody
or
anybody else's feelings. And people will try.
Yeah, absolutely. People are gonna try it because they can, because they feel that they've earned that spot in your life where they can be like, no, like I can do this, I can manipulate, I can torment, I can make this person feel away.
Right.
Like, no, like you need to figure out what's going on with you. I'm gonna just step aside. When you're good, like I'll be over here. You know, at the end of the day, like no one's saying don't be there for your loved ones. Literally not at all. Just know yourself, know your boundaries, and that the other party has to know their boundaries as well. And the other person also needs to act right.
Or get left.
You know what I'm saying? No, like guys, at the end of the day, we have to know ourselves by now.
And if you don't, you need to figure it out, work on it. That's the point of majority of these tea times. Know yourself.
Yeah.
This is the base of everything. Self-love, self-acceptance, know yourself, improve what you can improve, change what you can change and you want to change. Otherwise, just leave people alone. Like if you're gonna be a person who's miserable or sucks the life out of everything, you know, those people that are just so draining. Everybody has that person in their life where they're just a downer, and you know, it's unfortunate, but again, that's not your responsibility. You gotta say to them, that's a you problem, without using those words, because again, there's a difference between being realistic, being real, and being harsh. You know, there's no need to be rude or disrespectful out here to people who are trying to figure themselves out.
Definitely.
It doesn't mean that you're not being there for your friends or your family or whoever it is. It just means that you're putting yourself first. You know what you want in life. You know your goals and dreams and whatever it is, and you don't need somebody or something to hold you back.
Don't be an emotional vampire, and don't let people suck the life out of you. It's literally, in my head at least, what it sounds like. No one, especially in 2020, has energy to be drained. No one does. So don't do the draining, because I know, like if I ask myself, do I want to be drained? Absolutely not. I'm already drained on my own. With the thoughts that go into my own head, I'm already tired.
We're just trying to make it out here.
Let's all take a breath.
Guys, just know yourselves, create those emotional boundaries, stop taking the blame for others' feelings, stop letting other people's feelings dictate yours, stop being an emotional vampire, if that's what you are, as Bae said over here. Just stop. Just leave people alone. If you can't be right, just leave people alone. If you need to figure yourself out, do that. Nobody is judging you for that. We are here to support you, but don't drain others in the process. I think even before this video, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be straight up with you guys. Well, I'm having a good day today. Nay's a little bit on the downer side, but she's like, has the energy to film. She has the energy to talk to me, to be with me. She's just going through her own stuff, and she told me straight up, she's like, I'm just not feeling it today. I'm not feeling good today, but it's nothing to do with you. I love you, etc, etc. And 2 days ago, I said the same thing to her. I told her, I said, I'm very angry today. I have a lot of anger inside my soul. I can't pinpoint it. I said, here's a list of A, B, C, D, E, F, G that it might be. Those might be the reasons, but I'm not sure. But I'm just telling you because I need you to know that it has nothing to do with you right now. 100%. And we just need to communicate that. Again, communicate.
Yeah.
You know, it's really all it is. Just communicate with your peeps, and nobody's saying that you need to be a lone wolf out here, but just learn to handle yourself differently, create those emotional boundaries, and let's live life. Let's move on. Let's get it.
Yeah, let's do 2020 properly.
And let's just do life properly.
Let's do life properly. Let's love each other properly. Let's respect each other properly. Don't do things that are going to hurt people because you wouldn't want that done to you.
Hopefully this video made sense, and if you made it to the end of this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell if you're nasty, and don't forget to
tell your besties, y'all. Continue to put everyone on. Why are you laughing?
You always start saying it before I say.
Do I?
I'm like, don't forget, and you're like, tell your besties,
because
you can't be contained.
So I cannot be contained, and at the end of the day, tell your besties. Because yeah, tell them, because this is how Chelley&Nay is going to continue to grow, and we appreciate all of the love
and you guys are growing with us. Listen, we're honestly, and I know people are probably gonna be like, yeah, when you get there we'll see, but we're those people that will put y'all on. Even when we're up here, we will continue to put you on. If we believe in somebody and we respect them and we think they're doing great things, why would we not shout them out? Why would we not support them? Why would we not communicate with them? Is this a beautiful thing?
Yeah, and we will literally continue to be your friend. Like, no one's even saying anything. We're just saying
I'm saying something. We're gonna blow up.
And we love y'all because y'all are putting us in the position we are in, and you're gonna take us further, and literally without you guys we would be so yeah. Oh, thank y'all so much, you guys. We truly love you. Don't forget to follow us on all the channels: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Subscribe your life away, guys. Literally just do it now, right now. TikTok, applesauce. No, that didn't rhyme. But yeah, do it right now because there's literally just no point in not us. So let's go, let's get it. Let's continue having a great 2020 and on the way to 1K.
Absolutely. Later, Kedz.